It's been a while since we connected, and I thought as IBW approaches, it's a good time to connect back, give you an update on where we are with the C50 Pro, what you can expect by way of firmware software over the next couple of weeks, and also show you some other things that we've been working on. So let's talk about pre-orders first. I think as of this week, we expect to complete all pre-orders. We have maybe the last 2-3% of pre-orders to ship, which we will complete this week. So we've been, what, 5-6 weeks behind schedule on the pre-orders. So first of all, thank you so much for being patient with us. I know we've not been at our best the last 3 months. Maybe that's a mild way of putting it. But like everything else, we'll observe, we'll learn, we'll correct, and we'll grow. One thing I do want to say about pre-orders is that we see pre-orders as a way for us to collaborate with our early adopters to refine the product. So we do expect some level of glitchiness as we work through the final 5-10% of the product implementation. Now, most of our early adopters are in sync with that thinking, and I do want to call out, maybe I won't take specific names, but I do want to thank all of these riding groups that have been engaging closely, giving such detailed feedback. Thank you so much. Now you might be of the view that, I'm paying you money, I want a finished product. Fair, I respect that view. The only submission I will make to you is, if that's your view, then maybe the pre-orders are not for you, right? We still think that there is some more refinement to be done. If you feel, no, I want to buy a finished product, then my humble request to you, wait until it's with the dealer, wait until it's on an e-commerce marketplace. At that point, go pick up the product. Right. So with that very quick background, let me just walk you through what you can expect in the next couple of weeks. So we do have a firmware update that is targeted for end of next week. 13th, I think, is next Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And engineers, if they say Friday, it is Sunday midnight when it usually happens. So just keep that in mind. So what all are we going to get to you by this release? So first thing we are adding is equalizer for the audio with some bass tuning. So you will have 4 presets or so, and then you can pick whatever preset you like. Because we've seen some people think C50 audio is great. We've also had some people say, no, it's not. I want more bass. I want more of this. I want more of that. And it's very difficult to come up with one frequency response that pleases everybody. The solution to this, and this is a well-known solution, is to offer an equalizer that you can preset to your liking. So that will come your way as part of this build. One of the other gaps that the current build had, and this some BMW riders told us, is that when you connect to the two-wheeler cluster, audio starts to break. So that's something that will be fixed in this build. The overall stability, battery life experience, again, we've had some people be very happy. Some people say that it hasn't really given them that full 16 hours when your music plus ride grid. So that, again, the consistencies should get, or the inconsistencies should get addressed with this build. Engine braking on Ride Aura, we had an app bug that's been fixed, so engine braking on Ride Aura will be available. C30 compatibility for Ride Grid is something a lot of you have been asking us when we will get it going. So with next week's build, you will be able to connect your C30 with the C50 Pro. You might have to update both your C30 and your C50 Pro for that. But with that, the compatibility will be in place. We've also added speed dial support. We've also added streaming experience for the secondary device. So there was some glitchiness here that's been addressed. The other thing we're trying to get to you, this has some dependency on the chip manufacturer's SDK. We've raised it with them. Hopefully we will get a solution quickly. Is the reliability in the secondary device auto connectivity? So on some phones, some secondary devices, it auto connects. On some phones, some others, it is not auto connecting. So that we've escalated to the chip manufacturer, and I'm hopeful we will get a solution quickly. So all of this will come your way as part of next week's firmware update. There are also a couple of things that are app related. So app in general, the stability, if you're using the APK, has gotten better, and it will continue to. On the topic of APK versus Play Store, we always seem to have a problem getting approval with either iOS or Android. iOS, we seem to have done a lot better this time. Android, we pushed it, then we got a lot of issues with the permissions we were seeking. So we've tried to taper it, asking for one feature at a time. So we are going through that process, and hopefully through next week we will have some updates for you. Now, with respect to crash detection, so crash detection is supported in the firmware. The iOS app has been approved. We've pushed it for it to go live. So through the course of this week, you should see the app go live with crash detection. You will have to go set up your primary contact for it to be active for you. So please do that once you have the latest app. It will also be supported in the Android APK. I think it already is. Hopefully we will be able to get the Play Store approval quickly enough, and then this feature will find its way to the Play Store as well. eWrite Grid again will be supported in the firmware. So the firmware update you will get next week will have eWrite Grid support. It will be supported in the Android APK. I'm hopeful that we will get iOS approval before the end of next week. This again because Android treats a VoIP call differently from iOS. So actually on an iOS device, you will see a VoIP call in the background that is running. So again, these things are new permissions that we ask, so the approval process takes longer. But I'm hopeful. We've had luck with iOS up to this point in terms of approval. So I'm hoping that we can get this also done in time for the firmware update. So we do expect that by end of next week, when we give you this build, a large fraction of the instability issues are addressed. One thing I didn't mention, but is getting addressed, is the write grid experience with respect to stability of reconnection. You go out of network, come back into network, how seamlessly it reconnects. All of that should get a lot better with this build. We will still be missing an app control for universal intercom, and maybe some other fine tuning based on your feedback. So my sense is maybe we are looking at one more build in January before we can say, okay, now we can go to a quarterly cadence. Part is in full production. But this build, I think, should take you most of the way there, right? So that's on the firmware and app. When we launched C50 Pro, one question that came my way was, why are you calling it C50 Pro? Does that mean there is also a C50? Does that mean there are other devices? If so, what are they? What we did want to do was go through one cycle of production, figure out what we can remove from the C50 Pro and offer to you as variants of the C50 family. So that's something that I want to go through with you now. You are familiar with the C50 Pro, and I'm happy to share with you that we have two younger siblings of the C50 Pro. We have the C50 Plus, and we also have the C50. I will tell you a little bit more about what each of these devices is, as well as give you some indications of pricing. So, you start with the C50 Pro, you take away the Mac dock, and if you take away the Mac dock, you also take away the Ride, and you take away the modular speakers. That's sort of interesting. Making the speakers modular, we've had some flack for it, saying, why is everything so separate? I'm having to waste time putting it all together. It actually is more expensive for us, but we think it's valuable because given the geeky nature of motorcycle riders in general, the more DIY it is and the more modular it is, it's easier for you to replace one part at a later point. So we still think that's the right call with respect to the most premium product. But for the lower variants, it's saying, no, we won't have modularity. The speakers will come attached to the harness. So from the C50 Pro, you remove the Mac dock, you remove Ride, you remove modular speakers. What you get is the C50 Plus, right? The C50 Plus, in terms of features, it's otherwise equivalent. So every other feature that is there in the C50 Pro is present in C50 Plus. The only differences are the ones I have outlined here. So no Mac dock, no Ride-Aura, no modular speakers, everything else is the same. Now C50 Pro came with one Mac dock and one click dock. Instead, C50 Plus will come with two click docks. So you can, if you don't like the location, you can put it on a different location. Maybe you can put it on two helmets. We'll talk about that also in a bit. So that is what C50 Plus is. And then you start with the C50 Plus, you take away the T-stick, you get the C50, right? So C50 Plus, which is C50 Pro minus Mac dock, minus Ride-Aura, minus modularity in speakers, that is C50 Plus. From there you remove the T-stick, you get to the C50. Here again it comes with two click docks and it comes with both mic options. Features wise, it's exactly the same. Now some of you had the chance to play around with the T-stick for a bit, so you know the level of comfort it brings you to have something on the handlebar. You don't have to take your hands off every time to actuate the buttons. Now if you feel no, that's not such a big deal for me, then C50 is also an option for you, right? So one is again features wise, C50, C50 Plus exactly the same. The difference is the convenience of the T-stick, right? There are some button actions that and these are again features that are fairly advanced. Maybe a very small fraction of people will end up using them, which are only done through the T-stick today. So if you're in mesh music sharing, you want to do the push to talk, or you want to do captain sweeper mode or speed dial, those are today supported only either with the app or with the T-stick. We don't have button actions for them today because we have only 3 buttons and we don't want to complicate it beyond a point. So with the C50, you will only be able to activate them through the app. So just something for you to keep in mind before you decide which one is the right one for you. Right? So we started with the C50 Pro. We are adding the C50 Plus and the C50. How does the pricing look? So this is the lineup, the 3 products that we will have going forward. Now C50 Pro's MRP you are familiar with is 24,999. We are going to have an MRP of 18,999 for the C50 Plus and 15,999 for C50. We also have the C30, which is at about 11,000, 10,999 to go with this lineup, right? We still maybe 6-7 weeks from giving it to dealers, from giving it to putting it on the marketplace, which we think end of January is when we will have it. So we feel maybe the timing is right to do one more set of pre-orders. So we will be doing one more set of pre-orders with discounted pricing for these 3 products. Now again, I want to reiterate that the product is far more refined than it was 2-3 months ago, but is still not finished in our opinion. There is still some refinement that is needed. So if you're a dealer looking at this, please wait. This is not for you. Your distributor will tell you when products will be available, and we prefer that you wait for the finished product. If you're okay with being an early adopter, saying yeah, I know product is not fully refined, but I'm happy to use it, give it feedback, give the guys feedback, then this is for you, right? We did a pricing of 11,000 for the C50 Pro on the previous pre-order. Obviously, there were people who waited a lot longer, who were a lot more patient with us. Obviously, they're going to get better pricing. But you can now have pick up something on the C50 class at anywhere from 12,000 all the way to 18,000, right? So that's the pre-order pricing. How are we going to do the pre-orders? So some learnings from last time, we want to apply those learnings. So we don't want to take the pre-orders right away. Like I told you, we are finishing shipping our first batch of pre-orders this week. We want to wait for some time, maybe give it a week, give it 10 days, just allow for whatever issues those customers have to be settled before we start with a new batch. Through the next few days, we will send out Google Forms asking you to just express interest in any of these products, right? Most of you already have the C50 Pro, but for your friends, your riding buddies that might be interested, they can express the interest by filling out the Google form. We will run pre-orders from December 20 to December 22. 20th, 21st and 22nd is when we will do the pre-orders. We will go in sequence. So first whoever ordered first gets served first. The first batch will ship 24th December. Now again, we don't know how many pre-orders we will get, so we don't know how many batches we will need. We will get some idea from the interest, but we have to wait for people to order to know that that's the actual count. So while the first batch will ship on the 24th December, we can't yet give dates for the subsequent batches. What we will do is on the 24th, we will also share the shipping date for the other batches, right? And this will depend on order count. So we are at this point not in a position to say whether it will be 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, how long it will take. This is a function of the orders we get. So it's going to be open, but we will give you the date on the 24th of December. So pre-order date will be 20th, 21st, 22nd. Shipping will start 24th, 2 days after the pre-order ends. And the shipping date for the subsequent batches will also be shared at the same time. What you can do right away is express interest in participation by completing the Google form. There are two other things. People have been asking us when will we get an additional helmet kit. So we're almost there. We maybe need to do a little bit of work with respect to the packaging. So this AHK also, through the Google form, you can express interest to us, whether you want to pick it up, how many you want to pick up based on how many helmets you have. This AHK is for the click dock. So a MacDock AHK we feel will be too expensive. We're not sure how many people will really want it. So what we've gone ahead and done is made the click dock AHK that we think will be similar in pricing to the C30 AHK. Maybe same number is what we will target. So you can fill up your interest and let us know, and then maybe middle of January we should have this ready for you to pick up. Right, this is the AHK. It looks box is very similar to the C30 AHK. The other thing is that the C30 is going to get a new look. We've decided to move away from our partnership with JBL. So C30 will also move to Tune by Blue, right? The partnership sort of comes to an end of December. So starting sometime in December, we will transition to this new look for the C30. The components are the same. You should expect the same performance. The finishing on the product looks a little different, right? So think of this as our 2025 edition. Changes are still very cosmetic only. Performance wise, we don't expect any change with the new C30. So that's the C30. Just real quickly, let me show you also. So this is the C50 Plus. If you got the C50 Pro, you know how the box looks. So it's not the same box. It just doesn't have the MacDock. Instead of the MacDock, there is a second click dock, and the speakers are not modular. The speakers come connected to the harness. This is the C50 Plus, and this is the C50, right? Slight change in the box and the sleeve. Sizing is exactly the same. Here you will not have the T-stick, right? So C50 Plus, remove the T-stick, you get the C50, right? So that's the products we are bringing. If you're going to be at IBW, we will be there. You will get to touch and feel some of these products. Do stop by our booth, and a lot of you have my number, so I'm always happy to talk to customers, learn what your experiences are, and see how we can get better. Thank you so much.